Today, I am so excited to have a good friend of many, many years, Mr. Werner Berger, on with us. Werner is a good friend of mine in Heshe, and I want to show you a couple things of how I've seen the world. I've been to 50 countries, and one of the favorite places I've ever been was to the top of Everest. Now, I didn't climb Everest. This man climbed Everest, and he's also climbed the tallest mountain in each of the seven continents. And he's going to talk a little bit about that in our presentation today. So I'm going to show you how I did it. I cheated actually. This is how I do it. We do it by helicopter. And this is a picture of my daughter and I going up to around the base camp. And we flew up and around the base camp to see Everest. And I've also taken my two youngest kids. I've been to 50 countries. I've been all over the place. And these are pictures that I took out of the helicopter. And this is Everest right back here. It's sneaked right behind these other mountains. And this is on the Nepal side. Now, on the other side of that is the China side, and it's Tibet. So I've seen it from both sides of there, and it's pretty amazing. So I've seen it from both sides, and this is probably one of my most favorite pictures of the Everest mountain range right there. So that's pretty incredible. And so I've got a good friend of mine on with us today. This is Mr. Werner Berger. He is the world record holder, the Guinness Book of World Record holder for having climbed all seven of the tallest mountains, one on each of the continents for his age group. Welcome, Werner, good friend of mine. Come on out. Let's say hi to us and tell us a little bit about some of these adventures that you've been doing.
Thank you so much, Tom, for being able to speak to your people. And I really congratulate you and them, actually, because every time I come on this site and see the advancement, you guys have really worked. And when I'm going to be talking about climbing a mountain that none of us have ever faced before, Tom has never faced prior to now creating a group of 40,000 people. And his next mountain is probably to climb to 100,000 people. You, as individuals that are watching me talking right now, your mountain is to be in this game of life and make the most of what your life has to offer you. And that excuse me, is a mountain that you are climbing every single day. And your mountain includes, and these are Tom's words, it includes to earn a living for yourself, to earn a living for your family, to learn as much as you can, because the more you learn, the more you earn, and the more you earn, the more you can return. So you have a mountain to climb, and I want you to take this story that I'm going to talk about, the mountain I'm climbing, both physically and on the side where it's not physical. Take this story and think of it as part of your life. Anyway, right now this story is about the globe. We know that this humanity has a mountain to climb that it has never faced before. And the reason for that is very simple. We're living at a time where there's rampant disconnection in the world. There's animosity. There are countries fighting each other. There are people internally fighting each other. We have technology that is really accelerating, and it can make a huge difference in our lives, or it can ruin a lot of lives. Power seems to be expanding in certain domains, and it's not doing as well in other domains. So the question really ends up becoming not what do we need to build more of, other than the kind of things that Tom is building, more learning, more giving, more earning personally, but the question really becomes who do you need to become to make the difference in this world that you want to make? And there's no time, because the time is now. There is no tomorrow. We can't wait for next week or next month and say, oh, I'll get around to it. You either do it now or you don't do it. As I said, no tomorrow. And there's no someday I will do this. Someday. Do it today. If it's important to you, if it's important to the world, if it's important to your contribution, do it today because the time is now. When we look at the world, we can look at two sides of it. The one side is not a very happy side. We are divided. There's avarice, there's greed, there's not caring about people, there's only caring about me and my money. And the more I have, the more I want, and to heck with humanity. There's all kinds of disconnection, and that has to change. We have to replace it. We have no choice. And you and Tom's team are doing exactly that. Because when you start thinking of earn, learn, and make a difference, now you are talking about alignment. You're talking about a common purpose of humanity. You're talking about collaboration, and you're talking about unity. This is what you guys are all about, and it is an incredible thrill to be with you. So let me take this into the next step, because the next step is what I'm calling the global ascent. Now, it's not a climb of Mount Everest, but it is a climb, and it is a significant climb. And I can't read my slide because I've got a bar across the bottom. So you're going to have to simply read it. There are steps that we need to take. And I'm going to take you through the steps that my story or my climb right now is all about. And my climb is to make the global ascent happen. And there are two parts to the global ascent. One is called the summit ascent, or if you want to call it the outer ascent, you can call it that. And the other part is the inner ascent. Who are you as an individual becoming when you do what you need to do to have an incredible life? So the summit ascent for me is getting 45 people to climb Mount Kilimanjaro with me. And that's going to take place next year in July. Now, this climb, just like what you're doing, is one step at a time. You don't go to Kilimanjaro, you run up and you get to the top and you say, yay, I made it. No, it's one step at a time toward the roof of Africa. And you will breathe thin air. And I hope some of you come along with me because we want youth as well as adults that are going to make a difference in the world to come with me. You will feel the pull of gravity changing. And an example is if you can throw a rock right now 100 meters, that's a lot, let's say 50 meters. When you're on top of Everest, you can probably throw it 60 or 70 meters because of the pull of gravity and the density of the air is a lot less. And I do have to pull this bar up, and I can't do that. So I can't see the bottom part of my slide. And you're going to just have to read it, and that's okay. All right. So the outer ascent is all about climbing this mountain. And I will tell you a little bit more about that. The inner ascent is all about what's going to happen at the base of the mountain, because some very interesting and challenging things are going to unfold. And it's going to be all about alignment and creating global alignment. It's all about getting 45 leaders, visionaries, and builders pause to ask deep questions. And there are deep questions about life. And that's the challenge, the mountain that you guys are climbing, especially at a younger age, if you are guided in that direction. And that has everything to do with what is the legacy? We know what Tom's legacy is. What is your legacy going to be? What are you going to leave behind? And who must you become? What stance do you need to take to actually make sure that your legacy comes to life? The other part of the inner ascent is to see how can we unite? How can we really bring youth and seniors together? Seniors have a lot of wisdom, And in some cultures, they are utilized to the fullest extent. In other cultures, they are unfortunately sidelined to a large extent. But that is life, has to change. Okay, so what if you could become part of history? And by the way, in this slide, I'm talking to CEOs of large companies, but I'm also talking to you because you are the CEO of your life. So the question becomes, what if you could be part of history? The fact is, you are part of history because everything you say and everything you do and everything you accomplish becomes part of history. And it's either that you earn, you learn, and you return, or you don't. You either give or you take away. There are no two ways of playing this game. So I want you to imagine standing at the foot of whatever mountain you are facing, and you can see the summit. It's in a distance. And you know that both the climbs, either the physical outer climb or the internal change climb to mold you into the person that you can be. And I'm not talking about externally getting molded. I'm talking about you claiming your right, your birthright, your capabilities, your uniqueness, your ability to make a difference. None of us are alike, and everybody can make a different difference because when you become who you can become, you will make a difference. There's no two ways about it. Now, also imagine that you're feeling the weight of history and what has not worked in the global life or even in your life up to this point in time. But you also feel this pull of possibility because you see yourself having accomplished something that only you really desire and only you really can do. And from that, you sit back and you say, this is my moment to not shirk from the responsibility I am putting on myself. This is my moment to step up, to face my mountain. And even though I might not know how to climb it, I am going to make a plan, I am going to make a commitment, and I'm going to get there. So I'm going to invite corporate leaders, and I'm going to also invite you to look back, to think in terms. This is July 2027. It's almost a year and a half from now. And you're looking back from your mountain and from your accomplishments. And you're asking yourself a bunch of questions because you know you did it. And to my corporate leaders, I'm going to say, you've come to climb with me. And it's now July, and you're imagining that you have done this. You have succeeded in doing this. And I'm thinking back, I got 45 people on the climb and I got 45 people into the inner ascent and into inner learning. And they come from all corners of the world. And I'm feeling proud and I'm feeling good about this. And I'm saying we'd not just climb a mountain. We are changing the trajectory of humanity because when we get that internal shift, of people knowing what they want and doing what they need to do to get what they want. Time?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. I thought somebody said time, and I was a bit surprised. So you this is still your imagination. You have really succeeded, and you have made a difference, and are continuing to make a difference. Now you can say to yourself, we didn't, we left behind whatever it is you leave behind. I'm going to leave behind division. I'm going to have made sure that greed is left behind. I'm going to make sure that fear to a large extent is left behind because that's what the global ascent is all about. And the thing is, we carried forward to get an alignment between people. We had them get to know what their purpose in life is. we've got them collaborating, and we've got them into unification in terms of who they are and what they want from life. And finally, we have this wind that's blowing through the globe and really relishing what has been accomplished and what has happened. So, what is the global ascent's purpose, you might ask, after all this rhetoric? It really is to take a small group of visionary leaders and youth who are ready to shape, whoops, error, to shape leadership and how people lead and where their caring is during leadership. Is it for a win-win outcome or is it from a greed perspective? We need to shift the greed perspective. It's not all about money. It's about humanity rising. It's about the globe being a better place tomorrow than it is today, which means that we're talking about a shift in consciousness. We need to have people start becoming who they need to be for themselves, not in terms of what they need to accumulate for themselves. Because win-win is I accumulate, but I also give. And some people talk about you give more than you accumulate. I am saying it as long as it's equal, you are making a difference in your life and in their life. And the other part is uh, part of our mission is to seek opportunities for collaboration. Tom is a prime example of this. You're seeking opportunities for mentorship. And by the way, this slide deck was not created knowing him and his history, but it fits perfectly with where we are going. And it's all about leaving legacy that you can be proud of. And all of the while, you are remembering that this was not a climb of a mountain. This was not only your climb, it was you creating a movement toward a better world. Or in my case, it was our movement to create a better world. Because the ultimate result that we want to see out of this, of course, is better leadership, a consciousness shift towards collaboration and unity. And the key is you want to leave a mark on humanity's future, not just your future, but humanity's future. And just in summary, the activities associated with the global ascent are simply the climb, the outer climb, the inner climb that we've talked about, that my wife actually is leading, and will have really powerful speakers, coaches, mentors with her training youth, and we're looking at 50 coaches or 45 coaches and leaders, and we're looking at about 100 youth from across the globe. And I hope there's going to be youth from this community that either have received or gained sponsors, or they have the ability to fund themselves. Because what we're going to be doing is we will have media, we will have storytelling, we will create a documentary, and we will have strategic partners supporting us in our quest and what we're doing. So, my question to the dignitaries that I'm going to be showing this to, and it's also my question to you, is who will step forward and step up to the challenge? And who were just simply on the sidelines and let somebody else do the enrolling, somebody else talk about Tom's mission and your mission. Will you engage fully and earn as a result, learn as a result, and make a difference as a result? Our big reveal is going to be on July the 27th of next year. That's my 90th birthday. And I will have climbed to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, and I will salute the world from there, because I will know that the global ascent has made a difference. And if I'm thinking of you and Tom, I will also know that you, your organization, and your efforts have made a difference. So the question you will be asking yourself, who will join you in building the organization that has just grown to 40,000 people, which is just an astonishing accomplishment. Now, again, I'm going to ask my senior leaders, is it you that's going to be with us? Or is it somebody that you know that can affect the globe personally and individually? Tom is a person who's doing it, but he's also asked you to support his mission. And I applaud you for stepping up and actually accomplishing the numbers that I saw on the screen a little bit earlier. And all you need to know is the world is waiting, and the moment is now. And the question is not whether this moment will shape the future. We know that the question will shape the future. The next thing to just consider is a small group of champions started this work together with Tom. It has now grown to 40,000 people. And what we know is a small group can ignite an avalanche. And I predict that your avalanche has started. 40,000 people, each one enrolling one additional person becomes 80,000. Each one of them enrolling one becomes 160,000. And you can do the rest of the math. What we also know is history remembers those who begin, those who step up and say, you can count on me. And when that starts happening, for us, we're going to see some people starting to climb this mountain. And then you're going to see more people climb this mountain. And then finally, we're going to have people stand on top of the mountain and they're going to celebrate their accomplishment. But they're also going to celebrate the accomplishment that they are going to achieve, helping the globe become sustainable, helping the globe follow the trend that you and your organization have really set. And so, just a very brief summary. People that are, and this is not complete yet, are going to be able to book a conversation with me and talk about, what's in it for them. Some will just simply register. We will end up with 90,000. 90,000. What a dream. 90 people come on the climb with us, and history will favor those who begin and come and do what you guys are doing right now, because I predict you are at an explosion point. And Tom, I am so thrilled to hear your successes and to speak with your people and have the opportunity to just be a part of making a difference. Thank you so very much.
Well, thank you so much for being with us always. Werner, is there a link or a website that we can tell our students that are interested in learning about this that we can send them to?
Unfortunately, there isn't yet. I
Okay.
started one
Well,
about,
how about if we ask you to come back on again in the future and we'll do another class with you? That would be terrific, right?
that would be awesome. Thank
Okay,
you.
good. Well, we're going to say goodbye to our friends from around the world, and then we're going to come back out and just do a quick Q&A with Werner. And so, folks, climbing your mountain, go see the world. I've been to 50 countries. I went around the world this way with two of my kids. I went around like this with my oldest daughter. And the one thing I know for sure after being all over the world is that parents want to have a better life for their children. Everywhere I've been, 99.999% of the people, you only hear about that one in 10,000 or one in 100,000 that does something stupid because, bad news sells. But, people all over the world are good people. They want to have a better life for their children. They want to have a better life for them. And that's what the foundation does. And that's why people like Werner, that's making such a huge difference, why we love him and why we love what he teaches. And I'm going to ask him to come back on again and continue to teach some of the things that he's taught of the inner climb as